News this morning, Exxon Mobil agreeing to buy shale company Pioneer Natural Resources for over $59 billion in an all-stock deal. Now, this is Exxon's biggest deal since the late 1990s. The deal is expected to close in the first half of 2024. And we talked about the fact that when this was initially reported, what this means for Exxon's business. We know Exxon had really set its sights on the Permian Basin, talked about the importance of that region, what that's going to do for its business down the line. So with this deal, Exxon will now be the largest player in the Permian Basin. It's going to bring daily production to nearly 4.5 million barrels a day, about 50% more than the next supplier. So we're seeing some excitement. Although Exxon under a bit of pressure, obviously, that tends to happen when you talk about a deal, especially of this magnitude. But those longer term targets, obviously, could be a huge win here for Exxon.
Yeah, the company making the acquisition, you typically see that type of reaction in the stock, as you were pointing out. But this is a huge merger. And what this does is really bring together the space that you talked about, that Midland Basin and how important that is. 850,000 net acres is what Pioneer has. And so ultimately combining that with the 570,000 net acres in Delaware and Midland Basins that Exxon Mobil had, plus really bringing together the 16 billion barrels of oil equivalent in the Permian. All of this considered, you start thinking about what this means in terms of the volume that investors are going to be looking for these companies to talk about in production. They're expecting that to increase to approximately 2 MOBD. I forget the exact acronym breakdown there, but ultimately it's just talking about how that volume is set to increase as well by 2027 here. So even greater opportunity is what they see. We'll see if that plays out long term here for investors as well.
We certainly will. Again, Exxon's largest takeover since the takeover of Mobil Corp back in the 1990s, around 1999. It's also the largest takeover deal since the start of the year.